Okay, this is the water heater temperature pressure relief valve drain pipe termination point, and that's fine. Okay, it's not supposed to be higher than 6 inches from the ground. It's probably 7 inches. I'll write it up, but kind of is what it is. A little bit there. And here we find the water heater. Looks like we had some water issues on the wall here behind it a little bit. Okay, and so we come on around here and we see that we've got a Bradford White. We can tell that it's a 50-gallon water heater. And look at the serial number, that's a L, so it's a 9-year-old water heater. Water heaters last about 10 years. So this is a 9-year-old water heater. It might last 12 years. You might get some more use out of it. I know I got more use out of mine, but after about 10 years, the dependability factor starts diminishing rapidly. Okay, this water heater, if you're coming into this garage, I'm just going to check this out here for a moment. You're coming in, this side's closed up. This side's closed up, so you're going to be swinging into the garage, basically to hit the sweet spot that we got carved out of this nook. We should have a bollard installed in front of the water heater to protect it from vehicular damage. There's nothing to keep you from running in to this water heater. This water heater should have been installed a minimum of 18 inches from the lowest part of the garage. It should have been elevated. And you should have a safety pan and a safety pan drain underneath this water heater. This water heater should have a care and use manual installed by it. This is an electric water heater. We do not have a service switch. You have to go into the other room around the corner to turn the breaker off to work on the water heater. There's nothing to keep anybody from turning the breaker on while you're here and you have the water heater apart and you're holding on to electrical stuff. We should have a main disconnect switch here for the water heater. I see that we've got a bond. Is that a plastic coating or is that aluminum wiring? We might have aluminum wiring on this house. You'll know by the time you get to this video whether you do or not. Okay. But that's where the electrical bonding is. This is the main water shutoff to the water heater. I just turned the water off. Parallel is on, perpendicular is off. Now we can work on the water heater. Okay, this piping coming to the water heater should have been insulated. The temperature pressure relief valve should have been insulated. And they're supposed to be replaced every 3 years. And dielectric unions are beyond the scope of this inspection. I can't even see where the dielectric union is located on this one. It's beyond the scope. But it's reasonable to assume that if they haven't replaced the temperature pressure relief valve, the odds are very slim that they replace the dielectric union. Then we come over here, and you see this little green bolt right there? That is your ground. And see how you got a little hood right there? So the electricity, that's how we know that the water heater is electrically bonded for safety. This is for the electrical system going to the plumbing. But this is how we know we would know that the water heater is actually electrically bonded, and they did not install that. The manufacturer thought that would be a good idea. So, and I get it. I said, well, you've got this conduit, and that would act as a bond for it. And, it might act as a bond for it. If we continue on, if that just stops right there, the conduit, and then we go to NM cable, well, that's electrical, that's the ground wire, but that's not bonding the case. So I can't tell that it's bonded. So what do we learn? Temperature pressure relief valve drain line is too high. Water heater is too low. Do not have a safety pan. Do not have a care and use manual. Do not have an electric control switch. Cannot tell that it's bonded. We do not have insulation on the water supply and delivery connections. Do not have insulation on the temperature pressure relief valve. Pressure relief valve has not been replaced in the last 3 years. You through, bud? No, not yet. Not yet. And this drain pipe is supposed to discharge has supposed to be an air gap for this drain pipe in the same room as the water heater. Now I'm through.